Hello guys, welcome to Codeforces and my channel Sunish Srivastav. So I'm again back with problem number 279b and the problem name is books. So yeah, let's start. Um, when Valera has got some free time, he goes to the library to read some books. Okay, today he has got free minutes to read. That's why Valera took n books in the library, and for each book he estimated the time he is going to read it. Okay, so he has got t minutes to read. Let the number of books by integer from 1 to n. Varina needs ai minutes to read the ith book. Okay, so there is t number of free minutes as we know, and there are n number of books which he takes to the library, and he takes ai time to read the ith book. Okay, now Valera decided to choose an arbitrary book with the number I and read the book one by one. Starting from this book, in other words, he will first read book number I, then the book number I plus 1, the book number I plus 2, and so on. He continues the process until he runs out of the free time or he finishes the nth book. Valera reads each book up to the end, that is, he does not start reading the book if he does not have enough free time to finish reading it. Okay, so this is the problem where we have the n number of books, and we have also the input of the time the Valera takes to reach each book. Now we have to count the maximum number of books that Valera can read. Okay, so the input contain two integers n and t, the number of books and the number of free minutes. Okay, and the second line contains the ai value, the value that Valera, like the time that Valera takes to read the ith book. Cool. So print a single integer, the maximum number of books Valera can read. So let me just copy the first input here, and let's see how the raw logic is working. So yes, this is n. Just a second, guys. So cool. Let me adjust my mic. Okay. So this is for value t. Sorry for that. This is value t, and for 5 books like 1, 2, 3, 4 books, it takes for the first book he takes 3 minutes, for second book he takes 1 minute, for the third book he takes 2 minutes, and the fourth book he takes 1 minute. So like most of the guys will be thinking about to solve this array and find the maximum like find the maximum sum which is less than equal to t. So what most of the guys will be doing, like they will be sorting the array 1 1 2 3, and like I also for first time coding the solution or looking at the problem, I am seeing that this has to be done, but the problem statement is something else. So most of the guys would be like, and the Codeforces the Codeforces test cases are also very good. Your solution does not exactly matches, but the test case passes. Okay, so we are getting the output as 3 and the raw output is also 3, but this approach is wrong because in the problem it clearly mentions that Valera has decided to choose an arbitrary book with number I and read the book one by one starting from this book. In other words, he will first read the book number I and then I plus 1, then I plus 2, and so on. So yeah, so we have to generally like keep the pointer from starting and check, like from the starting 3. Now we will add plus 1. It is less than equal to 2, it is less than equal to t, that means it is less than equal to 5. Yes, we will proceed, then we will again add this 2. So 3 plus 1 is 4 and 4 plus 2 is 6. So we are not going to take this book. Now again, so the output is 3 by this logic, not by this logic. This is wrong. You do not have to solve the array. Please note that. So now let's just code the solution. I think I am clear with the test cases. Why I did this? Because it is clearly mentioned that Valera reads ith book, then I plus 1th book, then I plus 2th book, and so on. And here, by sorting the array, we just like we created our own I plus 1 and I. So it does not match the original array. So that's why we messed up our solution, and it will not pass most of the test cases, though it passes this. Okay, now let's just code the solution. This is problem number 279b, and the problem link is slash 279 slash problem slash b. So the problem solutions are also added on the repository, guys. Do check it out anytime. Now let me just take the input, the number of books, int t, which is the maximum time. Now let's just make an array, not always a, let's say time for books. Cool, makes more sense. New int which will be of input like length n. Now let me just loop and take all the input. I equals to c dot next int. Now what I am gonna do is that I will take a counter value which will count of books, which will count my count of books. Now I will take a kth value which will be like the Valera is starting from the kth value for reading the book, and I will also keep a counter for sum about how we are going, like for the sum in the counting of the initial windows, like for the 312 or 121, and will be matching that sum and like equalizing with the equal to or not equal to t. So now just we int j equals to 0, j is less than n, j plus plus. Now we will make sum equals to sum plus aj. So sorry, time for books j. Now that means we have taken the first book that Valera has started from the first book. Now we will compare that. If sum is less than equal to t, that means if we are like if the first book is possible to read by Valera within the time limit t or not. If yes, then we will count of books plus plus. Now what if the else case? Now if the else case fails, like now if the else case happen 3121, like say this happens to be 6 for my sorry just a second. Okay, now if it happens to be 6 and my time limit is 5, so I will not be taking that book. That means an else case for me. So I will be like subtracting that from my sum. Sorry, count of books, I'm too much addicted with a, I think there is some error. Sorry, time for books, yeah. And I will keep a value of k which I last subtracted. So for the next value, if my window is going like this, if I am sub another value x and now y, and if that like y is coming in the window, so I have to subtract this k. So the kth value starts from I, and I will be subtracting k plus ith book from my window. K plus 1. So I will keep a counter of k also. I think that is the end of the solution. Nothing else. I have to print the count of books, not sums. Now I am going to run that. I will explain to you once more what I exactly did here. 3, yes, 3 books are the maximum possible. Now I will like, yeah, Let me just have a new page here. New page, new page, new page, new page. Yes. Okay. Now let's say what I did here. So what exactly, let me just also use one feature here which I am trying to use. Yeah, it goes. No, it does not goes well. Yeah, it goes. Yeah. No, it is not working here. Just a second, guys. Let me just merge it here, and now let me show the desktop. Yeah, it is working. So, and this is the number of books which I have taken. This is the T, which is the maximum time I have taken. This is the time for books that Valira takes, like the time to read. And now I have inputted all my books here. Correct. Now let me just scroll down once more. Cool. Scrolling does not happen. I have to take a step back. No, just a second, guys. Yeah. So let me just scroll down here and get back to my original window. Yeah, cool. So show desktop. It's very nice feature of the white bolt. So yeah, the count of the books is initially 0. Now I have taken a k counter and a sum counter. So why I have taken that? Because as initially it is stated in the problem that Valera starts from the book I an arbitrary number. So you have to take a window. Like for the problem statement here, it is written 3 1 2 1. So we do not have to sort the array, and let's say we have another window like 1, and we have the time unit 6. So how will my program work? Well, that for the first value sum equals to, sorry, bad handwriting, the first time sum equals to 3. Okay, cool. The value of t equals to 6, let's suppose. Now count of books become 1, so let's mark it as C here. Now for the second book, it becomes, the sum becomes 4 and the count becomes 2. And for the third book, it becomes 6 and we have the value 6 here. Now for the fourth value, 6 plus 1 equals to 7, and I have the value equals to 6. Now I will have to subtract from the sum counter the last value, like the starting window or the starting book, which was like ith value. So the kth value which we have taken in the loop. So this will be removed from the window, and now the sum value becomes 2 plus 1, that is 3. So 3 plus 1 equals to 4 here now, and we have the counter equals to, okay, now we have the count of books equals to 4, correct. Okay, now for this we have been working and it makes 5, so the value of count of books is 5 here. Cool. So now what is the maximum count of book which Valera can read? It is 1 2 and 1 1, so the value is 4. Okay, so I am mistaken somewhere. This will be 3, not 4, because the count of book is not increased yet. Yeah, right, and this will be 4. I'm sorry guys, this was like, let me explain once more this part. So here the count of becomes 1, here the counter becomes 2, here the counter becomes 3, and for here the sum becomes 4 and the counter becomes 3. Cool. And here the counter becomes 4. Yeah. So yes, the count of book is 4, the maximum possible number of books can read. Sorry for that guys, I got a little bit confused. So yeah, this is the maximum number of books that Valera can read. So thank you guys, thank you for watching with this video. Keep subscribing to our channel, and yeah, keep listening. Thank you so much. Bye bye.